Hey, shouts out to everybody that support the page. Shouts out to everybody that's out there that's real, keeping it real, keeping it red. I want to say one thing to everybody out there for the Screen Fiend fans. Tomorrow we have all the definitely check tomorrow. You're going to be very happy. Yes, 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 yes. Now, on top of that, I say that to say this, good people. Stay connected, stay tuned. We got more in tune for you. Crazy Chips and Dips. The Ironheart series. TV review on Disney Plus. Definitely check it out. It is interesting because you're trying to see where it's going to go. That's the beauty of it. And the fact that you're trying to see where it is going to go. Now, you have a lot of people who are right-wing conservatives that's going to hate on it because it's, predominantly black, Latino cast and wasn't a lot of white people. So they're automatically going to hate it because they think everything's supposed to be all white. It's all white, it's all right. Now, here's the way I look at it. He says she's the worst superhero ever. Here's the way I saw the series go. From the beginning, I think that this should have been a prequel to Wakanda Forever. If this works better as a prequel to Wakanda Forever than this happening after Wakanda Forever. Because after you experienced all that, you had a super powerful suit made by vibranium. You made that in like 3 days with their technician, their technology that they got in Wakanda. You made a suit that was top notch. Everybody had a goddamn suit. So you go from that, you watch the queen die, she died saving your life. And you get a sense of purpose for that. You feel indebted to the queen because they all risked their lives to save yours. You go from that to go back to the hood to be this little, kid who's insecure, getting kicked out of college for doing stupid stuff, still scraping and scrabbling for money. The Wakandans. You could have called Shuri and all them and been set for life. What the hell you out here did? The whole thing about the car, my daddy made this car, and this is my father's car, and it's connected. I went from that to them rebuilding the car, giving it to you for you to sell it for parts in the series. It's like the series took a total left turn from what the movie was about, which gave her an arc, gave her purpose. Her anxiety was not as bad as it was until, when she first meeting things like that for the first time, her anxiety was all over the place. But now she's got more anxiety again with some little stuff that's happening at home. She can't deal with her father's death, but she can deal with aliens underwater. It's like, are you kidding? That was like a drawback to me that I felt that took away from the series that didn't need to really be there. I know they want to have the heart, the connection. Her friend died and all that. You could have explored a little bit of that in Wakanda Forever if you're going to do that. But don't introduce the character that way in Wakanda Forever, then have all this stuff going on with her after the fact, where you draw the character back to square one, like Wakanda Forever never happened. So it's like really crazy. I was quite thrown back by the way, like it was all put together, I was kind of thrown back. Like, damn, that happened like that? Okay. I just thought it would have been put together a little better. So the build up in the first 3 episodes was intrigue. Because you want to know about the Hood, and you remember the Hood from the comics a little bit. You see, Ironheart is an earlier comic. It's not one that goes all the way back. So it's not one I'm all the way familiar with. I just know like the premise of some of it. But that's like a YN comic book. The younger guys know that. So Mephisto comes in and basically turns the whole table over and changes the directive of everything that you knew and thought that you knew about. Yeah. So when that happens, everything is topsy-turvy. It's like, okay, now everything is here, it's turned upside down. So now no one has any answers to the questions that are provided. So you're starting to see yourself in a whole different light. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. What's up, Blueberry? Now, I like the side characters. I mean, one of the characters in there that in the comic book, I guess the character wasn't black or looked like a man playing a woman. I don't know what it was, but the hacker or whatever, the one that did the code, I guess this character in the comic book was a big fat white guy who was doing the coding. And this, series, they made it a black, look like a man playing a tranny, so that's Disney. Now that part you got to put on Disney. That's Disney trying to cover all the bases and check all the boxes. You're like, do we got the Asian? Yep, we got Asian. We got, they always do it in the black film though, They don't do that for the white films and the white series. Black series, they got to do they got to check all the ethnic boxes. Do we have a Latino and / Asian looking dude? Yep, check. What about this guy here? He looks Hispanic. Yep, check. Blacks. Okay, well, it's a black thing, right? Check. We got to have our whites in there to, get that balance. Check. Okay, do we got an Asian, an Asian lesbian type thing? Check. Tranny, check. Okay, we got it all checked. All right, we're good to go. All right, let's get our series. Yeah. So you got a group of people that would never be in the same room with each other. Unless they were at a concert. Or at a restaurant somewhere. But now they're all together. Yeah, they all together now. And they're all on a mission. And I'm just like, why can't we just have a show that's centered around the show and not about this? So one of the best characters they kill off early in the series, which brings the tension in, which was the best episode actually. And that's when they actually do the raid and only to find out that this is a guy who's throwing a big temper tantrum because he's mad at his daddy who threw him out when he was 12. And then you find out he's being controlled by a hood. And, it's an interesting series. I just think the ending, the setup, and it was like, why would she do this? After all she'd been through, I just couldn't see the character making that type of commitment to do what she did at the end. But the perfect casting was for Mephisto, Sacha Baron Cohen. Perfect casting. That's the only person I could see that could play Mephisto. Okay, now if they bring Nightmare into this series, which you might see Nightmare appear in this series at some point, not in this series, but appear in Marvel. Now the character that's going to play Nightmare, who I heard is a perfect candidate for Nightmare. And if they get this person to do it, it would be excellent. But I'll wait and hold on and see what they do, because I don't know if they're actually going to get this character, this person to play him, because this person's older now, but it would fit for Nightmare. But this person, I believe, is doing the Scream movie. And the person, I'll tell y'all, because I've actually spoken to the person, is Matthew Lillard. This one will be a screamer! He's older now. But that's how Nightmare, and that's where they want Nightmare to be. Nightmare's like an older, even though he looks he's ancient. But the attitude fits Matthew Lillard all the way, his energy and everything. But I don't know, he might be too old to play the part. It was on the table. He had a reading for a character, a dark nightmare-like character for Marvel. He was looking into him for makeup and wardrobe, what he would look like in the makeup, doing the smiles and everything. Matthew Lillard was supposed to do that. He went away from it because this was earlier in the process, before Bob Iger came back. This is when the other CEO was in charge. Nightmare was going to appear in the Loki series, I believe. If it wasn't Loki, it was either the Mouth of Madness, or one of those series. He was going to appear. The only problem that they had with that was the fact that Nightmare is something they can't control. See, because you can't control Nightmare, it's always going to be a scopatory situation where people look at it and they roll their eyes. They go in a different direction. They're not happy with the end product. So what you left with is a conundrum of just a dog pile of dog shit. But Loki was the best writing because they didn't have anyone interfering. No one was there to push agendas. We got to do, everything politically correct. We're not trying to do anything that's Me Too or whatever the new movement is that they got today. That stuff was out. It's only about the story. So when the writers in the writing room and the people there are focused just on story, you have a better series. That's why the Loki series works. They're not worrying about putting a lesbian into the scene. We need a lesbian in here. Why? What's the purpose? Just to be lesbian. Okay. What do we have here? Okay, we need an Asian, a Latino, we need a what I don't know what this is. This is a Latino lesbian. Is it a guy? Is it a girl? I don't know. I don't know what they are. But we're gonna put them together, and they're gonna fight Riri Williams, who's gonna have like 3 different Iron Man suits. Then we got Riri Williams, who we don't know if she's non-binary or what they're trying to do with her. We can see she like a guy. It's like, all right, she wants some soul pole. Let her get some soul pole in there with this dude who's obviously a goofy who keeps hanging around waiting on Riri Williams. But that doggone friend of hers who was AI, who she brought back, I'm like, yeah, you got to bring that back. Oof, she thick as hell. Bring her back. Yeah, she thick as hell, man. You gotta bring her back. I'm sorry. Shoot, we had when somebody looked her up. That girl is thick as hell. I'm like, oh shit. Who's this thick AI? I was like, who is this thick ass AI? Bring her back. Bring her back. Well, now she's back and she doesn't understand what's going on. Because allegedly some deals she made with Mephisto. So the last 3 episodes were a lot better than the first 3, obviously. And from the 3rd episode on, it got pretty interesting. The first 2 were kind of boring. It's a lot of build up to go nowhere. But I'm okay with how it turned out. There's so much people just don't understand when it comes to these films, man. It's just, there's so much work. There's so much people to put in there. But it's just like the way they distributed it was like, we don't really care about it. So do what y'all must. And it's sad to see it go that way because it looked like it was on a course to be actually something. Like something. Like they had something there. And when you don't see it, matriculate, and you see all the racist people attacking online because they ain't got nothing to do. Well, the thing is, they make lascivious claims. The Hood seemed like an interesting character. He could disappear, reappear. He could disappear, reappear. And do a lot more, it's like that's what you want, that's what you want to see. there's so much like that's going on in the world that people just don't realize because they're not paying attention. So if you're not paying attention, there's no way you're gonna know. And then to have Obadiah's son is in there, Zeke. They bring Zeke in to the show, who was named Joe. They shoehorn him in, and they put in everything from the comics. Now, I do remember, like, Zeke being included, Obadiah Stane's son, Zeke. And he has all this tech that he put inside his own body. And that his suit was completely altered. Like his outfit was completely designed to be like he was a one-man wrecking crew. Now, Riri Williams, who has her power suit or whatever, this is a man who could bend bullets and do all these different things, but yet he could not control Riri Williams in a suit. He can become invisible. He had dark magic, but yet he could not deal with Riri Williams for some reason. I have no idea. He needed his crew to go after him. It made very little sense to us, but we understand it now, seeing how everything played out. You surprised I'm not grabbing a chocolate shake when I'm grabbing a chocolate shake? As soon as the authorities get done with me, yep. So I'll give it 2.5 stars out of 4. It's watchable. It's very interesting, especially when Mephisto comes in. That's the last 3 episodes are incredible when he comes onto the scene and you start to see the story play out. But the hood kind of loses his flair once you get to that point. But if you've seen it, tell me what you think. Let me know if they should continue the series or should they cancel. Somebody's like, they're gonna cancel the series. And then they said, if you don't like it, you're racist. Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but strong. I wouldn't go out my way to hate on it and say it's, oh my God, it's awful. Those people, it probably are. 9 times out of 10, they're racist. So they might have a point there, but I have not seen that so far, to be honest. So anyway, it seems like any Marvel movie that's with a black cast, they come in and shoot it down immediately. But I'm finna get my chocolate shake.
Hurricane, how may I help you?
Yes, I want a chocolate shake.
Okay.
Um, I want a